Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to a new week where we're going to talk about everything Celtic related. As always, the first of two transfer windows is about to come to an end. It wasn't a window that really affected Celtic. Our business is yet to truly begin. That should happen over the next couple of weeks. However, we have a few stories that have blossomed over the weekend to talk about, including that very scary headline about Kieran Tierney picking up an injury. Yep. It's not the kind of headlines you want to see, but we'll talk about how serious it is in today's video. If you haven't already, go down below, hit like, hit subscribe, because now we are less than 100 subscribers away from 50k. Less than 100. So could it be this week? Could the Ryan118 channel hit 50,000 subscribers this week? That's down to you guys. Go down below, hit those buttons. We're going to be here all week talking about Celtic, so if you want to stay up to date, that's all you should be doing, going down there and pressing those. Let's start with that Kieran Tierney story, shall we? Because I want to get the boogeyman out the way. Kieran Tierney was in the headlines last night, and not for the right reasons, as Steve Clarke confirmed he has withdrawn from the Scotland squad for the friendly tonight against Liechtenstein, and it's because of an injury. And I used the phrase boogeyman a minute ago because I think that this is the sort of headlines that is going to be used as the metaphorical boogeyman at Celtic supporters these next few years. When you hear Kieran Tierney an injury, you're going to presume it's something bad. You're going to presume that it's something that's going to keep him out for a long time. We were warned about his fitness issues as he returns to the club. But it's not one to get overly worried about. If anything, it's just a precaution. And it's nothing new. It turns out this is something that he went into the Scotland camp with. So don't worry. His leg's no fell off. His hip hasn't crushed into a million bits. It's not the end of the world. Steve Clarke confirmed in the press last night that both Kieran Tierney and Scott McTominay both came into the Scotland camp carrying some little issues from over the season. So if they had a longer turnaround between the games, they might have had a chance. But listen, the season is at an end for those two. The most important thing is to have a good rest over the summer and come back flying in the autumn. So despite reading all these headlines and these stories that are meant to invoke fear in Celtic supporters, thinking that Kieran Tierney's Celtic career is off to an injured beginning, that is not the case. They're giving Kieran Tierney a rest at the Scotland camp. There is no point in playing him in a pointless, meaningless friendly against Liechtenstein, and they're just giving him this game off so that he can recover from the small issues that he's carried over from a very intense end to the season with Arsenal. Effectively, what this will be is wear and tear. That's all it will be. It might be a certain muscle that is playing up. It might be something that is pre-existing, that is just flared a little bit for Kieran Tierney, but it's nothing that is going to derail the start of his season come the Champions League qualifiers, come Flag Day in August. This is just precautionary, and Steve Clarke has seen sense in giving Kieran Tierney the rest of the camp off. Now it's time for Kieran Tierney to go aside, get some rest, prepare himself for the beginning of a new season, and he should be there in full fitness, hopefully, for the start of that new season. So don't let the headlines fool you. Don't think that Kieran Tierney is out for months upon months. No, he's absolutely fine. He's just getting the night off, and good God almighty, why would he even want to play in tonight's game? And I mean that with all due respect. Kieran Tierney did take part in the friendly against Iceland the other night. Of course, he played around 70 minutes in that game, and may I add, out of position. Played at left centre back for Steve Clarke in that dreadful game of football. If you watched it like myself, I'm sure you regretted every moment of it. I wouldn't let that game be the judgment for Kieran Tierney coming back to Celtic. I would let the last portion of his Arsenal career be what I judge him on, when he was very, very good and getting stark and mad reviews from Arsenal fans and teary farewells. Yeah, the Scotland games are not what we should be judging Kieran Tierney on right now, and I'm glad that he's not taking part in tonight's friendly, a pointless friendly where I would say momentum and just general feeling is at an all-time low. So yeah, get out of there for now and return to the fold in August. I mean, Steve Clarke, or should I say September, sorry, Steve Clarke has made it clear that he wants him back in the team for fall. So, as I've said, the injury is not serious. I wouldn't even go as far as calling it an injury. It's just a rest. So talking about left backs, Kieran Tierney, of course, will be your starting left back come August time. But Greg Taylor will no longer be with us. We know that he is away, and we've heard the talk about his move to PAOK. Well, updates over the past 24 hours have essentially confirmed his move, and that should be finalised over the next couple of days. These are the sort of headlines that have been coming out over the course of last night and this morning, that Greg Taylor's Celtic transfer exit has had the timescale revealed. This article was from The National that said that his departure will be sealed within the next 48 hours. He is currently on holiday with his young family in Dubai, but will sign his 2-year contract in Greece with a year's option to extend. So Greg Taylor is finalising his move to PAOK, signing a 2-year contract, of course, with that option to make it 3 years. I wish him the absolute best of luck, but it is all but certain now he will be a PAOK player in the next few days, and you'll probably see the graphics of that very, very soon, including a farewell from the club. So 6 years of service coming to an end. Greg Taylor, he's served the club adequately, and it's probably the right time for both parties to move on. So it'll be very interesting to see how this accelerates the talk around left-backs coming into the club. We know that we need a backup to Kieran Tierney, and we'll see if the stories accelerate over the next few days as well. But Greg Taylor is away. He's going to Greece, and I think it's a cracking move from apparently getting a substantial wage rise. That's the words that are being used anyway. He's going to a very nice country to live in, and he'll get to play for one of Greece's biggest sides. So, yeah, best of luck to him. Fair play. Right, a couple of housekeeping issues to dance over before we end today's video. There isn't a lot of talk out there in relation to transfers this morning, so a couple more clerical issues to discuss before we end today's video. You might have seen some pictures surfacing of Celtic Park over the past 24 hours in the inside of the stadium. The new pitch which is being laid down is almost complete. It's in the last few stages, I believe, of its relay. It's currently being covered by a massive blanket to protect the surface, but a new pitch which is desperately needed, I think, at Celtic Park, coming in to play next season. Obviously, I had the luxury a couple of weeks ago to play on the Celtic Park pitch, which was one of a kind, magnificent experience. But even when I was, and it was the end of the season, so I won't be too harsh, but the surface wasn't great. It was very slippy, it was very torn up, and even from a distance where I sit with my season book, I could notice that was the case for a large portion of the second half of the season. Obviously, in this country, we're not blessed with great weather, and it's difficult to maintain a great surface all year round, but I think you could notice that the pitch was really going through it this year, and hopefully this new surface is a great installation for the club and really improves the quality of the surface we're playing on. But one of the minor things from the photograph that people have noticed that you may not have clocked is the removal of the dugouts. If you zoom into that photo down at the tunnel, you'll notice that both home and away dugouts have been removed from Celtic Park, which indicates that we're getting a new dugout put in at the stadium. I think it's about time. I couldn't tell you the last time the dugouts were changed. I feel like they've been the same my whole life. So it's about time they were freshened up a little bit, maybe brought up a level to try and increase the stadium's rankings to UEFA. But it looks as though we're getting new pitch, new dugouts, a little bit of freshness at Celtic Park this season, building on the renovation of the tunnel over the past couple of years. And final story for today is that the club have officially confirmed part of their pre-season plans with the friendly announcement against Sporting in Portugal this summer. The official club announcement came this morning saying that Celtic will face Sporting Clube de Portugal in a pre-season friendly at the Estádio do Algarve on Wednesday, July 16th. They also confirmed that Celtic will take part in a training camp in Portugal next month, and it will culminate with a match against the Portuguese champions. So another friendly being added alongside our friendly against Cork City, the friendly at Celtic Park against Newcastle United, and the Como Cup tournament. And this one will take place in Portugal at the beautiful Estádio do Algarve. Now, originally when this match was leaked by the tabloids a couple of weeks ago, I assumed that this would be a game behind closed doors, but the Estádio de Algarve is a 30,000 seater stadium, and you can only imagine that tickets will be available to buy. So if you've got the money, there you go. There's a wee trip on the cards for you, Wednesday, July 16th. It looks like a fantastic stadium. I'd still maintain that they've missed a trick here to play at the Estádio Nacional in Lisbon. But nonetheless, looks like a great place to go. Looks like it could be a great wee day out if you can afford it. So keep an eye out on the club's social channels for more announcements in relation to ticket sales. But yeah, there's the last part of our pre-season friendly plans being officially confirmed by the club. Right then, that does it for today. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. As always, if you've enjoyed, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. That goes a long way. And until next time, hopefully we have a lot to talk about. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.